Hi, this is Becky Berg, and we are going to do a short session on really bringing these strategies together and kind of connecting back to where we started with the standards and the progression. All right, so our focus is connecting to those standards, addressing that traditional algorithm, right? Because we haven't gone there yet. And how do we connect all of these strategies? All right. So first of all, just to kind of connect back, we worked on three key strategies: distributive strategy, compensation, and factor and associating, right? So those were the three things we worked on. Now, let's step into our standards. In fourth grade, you can see that critical standard is to use strategies based on place value and properties using equations, arrays, and area models. We completely engaged in that, right? Fifth grade, we're going to focus on that standard algorithm, right? That's going to be the shift. Now, the standard algorithm is still using properties and place value. However, we're getting to some shortcuts, right? Because we see the pattern and structure, we're using some shortcuts in that algorithm, all right? So, how do we build a bridge, right, between those two standards? We do not want kids stepping into that standard algorithm and now we're saying, okay, something brand new and different. Our job is to be that dot connector. How is what they've been doing with strategies based on place value and properties directly connect to that standard algorithm? All right, how is it the same? How is it different, right? So here we see the same problem solved with the traditional algorithm as well as two distributive models, okay? So take a look at that, and where do you see similarities of those strategies? What kinds of questions would you ask students so that they could bridge those connections between these three strategies? Okay, because that traditional algorithm is not something completely different. It uses the distributive property and place value. Okay? Also, fraction connections, right? One of the things we said earlier is it's not just about teaching these isolated islands of skills, but if I know how to distribute a factor, I can do that with fractions. In both of these cases, I've distributed the fraction into something that's friendly, such as halves or whole numbers. And then I can more easily multiply that instead of having a very large mixed number, okay? So you can see it connects there. Also, those algebra connections, right? Over on the left here, you see the distributive property strategy used with just simply 5 times 16. Take a look at the white box and you can see that distributive property used when combining like terms, okay? That FOIL method, right? And we can see it here, right? What we did in some of our work throughout this course was similar to the blue box on the left. And then here we can see what that looks like with that FOIL method and a box, right? Using in our algebra connections, okay? So once again, this will help them connect to algebra. Too often kids do not see the connections between arithmetic and algebra, and that's why many of our kids struggle, right? They don't see the bridge between those islands. So coherence is key, right? It's not about us just doing our favorite thing or our favorite way, but we need students to see the connections between grade level standards and vertically across the grades. All right? We are building those bridges. So that is critical. All right? We have to have those intentional connections so that we do not teach isolated islands of skills between multiplication of whole numbers, where they go as they head into fractions and then into algebra. Okay? Thank you.